Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Derptopia SMP. My name is Fiasco. Thank you so much for joining me. And it is interior day. That's right, this beast behind me needs to get filled up with pretty things so that I can stop being embarrassed of it. Now, you'll see on the inside here, I've started to do the interior and I haven't done any detailing, but I have been laying out where things should be going. So up here is going to be kind of our main area, I suppose. And it's funny, actually, for how big the place is, once you start adding interiors, you'll lose a lot of space. So go big with your builds, because then you can add these walls inside, and all the walls end up being kind of double thick, like you see here. So yeah, you do lose quite a bit of space, but it's all worth it in the end. Now I'm going with the interior kind of... What the... Oh no. Oh no. So anyways, I'm going with an interior that's loosely based off of kind of B-Dub's designs. He's just such a good builder. His interiors are second to none. And what I really want to do with this build is make sure that my interior is functional and beautiful. So instead of just throwing down a bunch of chests and calling that my storage area, I'm going to make things a little more, I guess, suit the mood. That should be enough. All right, let's put those back in the right order, hopefully this time. There we go. Much, much better. So what we're going to be doing is just kind of putzing away with the interior here, and I don't have a plan for everything. I do know that this is going to go up into another floor over here, and that's going to be a very open area. I'm going to keep these walls open. It'll probably close off over here, maybe, but that'll be kind of like the attic-y loft area, where I'll have like a lot more storage, but I'm leaving these open so that I can fly in and out, which will be absolutely crucial for me to use this place effectively, because beautiful interiors are great and they're wonderful and amazing. However, they're not the most practical thing in the world. For me to actually physically go into a door and then climb a staircase and, you know, go into my cellar area here to get stuff, it does take a lot more time. In fact, I think I'm going to... Where does this come out? Right into a bush that I made. We might end up making this another entrance here, because I believe I'm going to make this my cellar area. And that is going to store like my stone and my dirt and all the dirty stuff. It'll also be a little bit more rough because, you know, why would you decorate your cellar? So I can actually leave the walls like this. I don't need to put interior walls in. I'll obviously make this look a little bit cleaner, but maybe we'll work on that first. I was planning on doing... maybe, I don't know. I don't know where to start. I'm so in over my head here. So this whole area under here, I believe, is going to be our cellar / bulk storage area. And now I like that it's at different heights and different angles. That kind of gives it a little bit more dynamic range. But what we're gonna do is probably, what do I want to do for the floor? I think probably just to keep it simple, oop, that's the wrong kind of wood, we are just going to make the floor dirt paths. And actually what I would like to do is plop in some coarse dirt, but I don't have any gravel on me right now. So I'm going to have to get back to that a little bit later on. But we're just going to make this all dirt paths because in a, you know, fantasy world, you definitely would not have a nice floor in your cellar. It would be dirt. In fact, a lot of modern cellars are just dirt floors. So that is what we're going to go with. So let's just make this all a dirt path right now. We'll texture it later, and then let's get some walls in here. So I believe I can get rid of this dirt here, and I'll just be able to kind of line the bottom here with this mossy cobblestone. It's a cellar, so it's going to be dank and dirty, and the moss will grow wild here. Now this back wall I think might need to be all cobblestone, because I can't replace the lower deep slate blocks because that'll affect what it looks like on the outside. So we're just going to go all mossy bricks here. You know, the mossy bricks, the mossy cobblestone. It's going to be a very mossy place. Where did you come from? Get out of here. Now these two I think I can move because those are just kind of decorative blocks on the outside. So if we're able to, we will kind of line the whole thing with this mossy cobblestone on the bottom. And that just gives it the illusion of some actual structural support. So we got that there. Probably wouldn't use wood down here necessarily. For a foundation like this, you'll definitely want to go with something a little hardier. So we'll have the stone wall there as well. And let's see here. Do I like that wall being exposed? I definitely don't like that. That doesn't make a ton of sense. But let's leave that for now and see if we want to change it up later. Now, I'm not sure. Okay, so I can't get rid of any of that. This is our staircase. So we definitely need to keep that looking as good as we can. And are these... Some of these might be... Yeah, those are extra. Those are extra. The stairs are probably right there, so that's what those were sitting on. So we can get rid of a few of these, which is great. It just gives us a little bit more space. And I think what I'll probably do is kind of line that as well with something like that. And we'll lose a little bit of space here in the wall, but that's okay. This place doesn't need to be massive, and I think probably that's looking a little clean. Let's messy that up a little bit. Now what I'm doing now is just adding a few of these support beams, in quotations, because we do want to give this place the feel like it is being held up and supported, and there's a sense of structure underneath this. Now the problem is that it does eat up a lot of headroom, so I think that the entrance being there is fine. I do think that this lore-wise was like an addition to the place. So the entrance kind of being a little janky there works out pretty good. I don't have any stairs. Let's just add a stair real quick. Perfect. So if we come in from here, I'll have the door on this side, like so, and perfect. Now it just gives that a little bit something extra. I do kind of wish that it was a 3-block so I could put it center, but you know, imperfection is perfection when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. So now we come on into our cellar and we can see that it's a little bit supported down here. Yeah, having that go all the way down makes a lot more sense. Now, what else can we do here? We're going to have to leave this wall the way it is, otherwise we're going to lose too much. I could add another wall here, but I think that it is fine for now. So we don't need any more supports. We've got the wood covered up. That wall, that ain't cutting it. That is not going to do. We don't want to see the other side of our interior wall. So let's just pepper in some mossy cobble here. Rough it up. And I actually do want to try putting some tuff in these walls as well. Tuff and mossy bricks go together so perfectly. If you haven't started doing that yet, make sure to please try it. That's what I built my tower out of. And it just gives a lot of texture and detail to a mossy and cobble palette. It's really nice. So definitely try peppering that into your builds. It's a bit of an odd block, but it really does work well. So we've got that wall all buttoned up. That kind of lonely stair there now looks a little silly, but maybe we can fix that just by adding another support beam there. No, I don't like that. Let's get rid of that and just leave it without the stair. I think that that's probably better. Now these walls, I don't think I can remove that bottom layer there because that will show outside. Pretty sure that's those bricks right there. So I can't get rid of those. So we may have to look at adding another something in there. But these ones should all be fine. And I think what I'm going to do, instead of fighting it and trying to get cobble in here, we're just going to extend the cobble deep slate. And that should help give it a little more cohesive of a look. So that's good. I don't like how I can see those down there. So let's get those buttoned up. Put our path blocks back in. And Perfect. This is looking much better down here now. A few things that are a little janky that don't make sense, but that's okay. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect in the world, so we can move on from there. Now, I think I'll go through the decorating process here too. What I was going to do was get every space kind of prepared and then do some detailing in there. But I think let's just get it out of the way now down here so that we can kind of have a little practice for it, because this will be the easy one. It's just going to be barrels and whatnot. Up top there is going to be the difficult one. So let's plop a door in here. Perfect. Now we have a couple doors here leading to interesting areas. We have our tower, which actually goes way up there. I need to connect that at some point. That'll be probably a main staircase. This one will definitely be the main staircase. But that tower, it's looking pretty aesthetic. So, I don't have my fireworks. Ugh, rats. Not sure what we're going to do with the tower, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And currently it's just housing my bed. Because it is not that safe around here, if you can believe it. Can't wait until they introduce the new mob spawning mechanics where they only spawn in total darkness. That'll help a lot with the building. Alright, let's jump right into decorating our cellar. And after a little while and a lot of wood later, we have got ourselves a fully functional cellar. Now, this is what I meant when I said I want things to be more practical. I easily could have stacked double chests across all these walls and gotten the most bang for my buck storage-wise, but that just wouldn't be very satisfying. So we decided to go with a little more of a cutesy design that's definitely going to cut down on our storage, but will also definitely make it a little bit nicer to look at. Now, just needed some bone meal so that I could, bam, put some lights in these little guys right there. And those, I don't know, they're just hanging over, and you know what we need is some rooted dirt. We need some roots in this root cellar. Thankfully, I actually got some rooted dirt, so how does this work? I haven't farmed the roots yet, but let's do it like this. And I'm pretty sure you just... Yep. Okay, I need shears, though. This is probably... Okay, Silk Touch works as well. Not the most effective way of getting this, for sure, but it does work. Great, now we can sprinkle a few roots in there as well, and I think that we can call it good. Now, this will probably be the easiest place to design. Oh, that does look really good. Just because it's a cellar. It doesn't have to be pretty. It can be rough around the edges, and there can be unfinished parts to it, and that's perfectly fine. The rest of the house, on the other hand, it needs to look a lot prettier, so probably a little bit harder to do. However, I can start to move my storage in there now, and what I'm going to do is just try to limit myself with the amount of things that I have. So if that storage room fills up, I'm going to try to not, load shulker boxes full of things and stuff them in different places. I'm just going to try to keep myself limited. So let's load that up and see how that goes. And there we are. Everything is put away in its place. And I think I'll be in and out of here so often that I'll probably remember where everything is. We've got deep slate, stone. This will be cobble. What do we got up here? Yeah, we've got dripstone and then basalt. So a place for everything in here. And we actually ended up with more storage so we can expand a little bit later on. That doesn't open up. That'll do. That's better for now. Okay, anyways. Now we can move on to the next phase of the house, and that is going to be... I don't know. I have no idea. But we'll figure it out. Let me frame in a few more things up here and kind of get some floors and ceilings and whatnot in, and then we'll have a better idea of the area that we have to work with, and we can go from there. So we've made a little bit more progress on the interior here. You can see kind of what I'm going for with this second floor. I don't know. I feel like I need a kitchen, and I don't know if there's enough space here, so maybe this will be kind of a dining area, and then this can be the actual, like, kitchen, the cooking area. And again, that's all just for flavor. It's where I'm going to store my food and whatnot. Got a bunch of storage lined up here with the barrels under the stairs. And now let me introduce you to my favorite part of this house, and this is what I was so excited about this whole time, is the loft. Oh, baby. This is where it's at. This is where we're going to be hanging out, doing stuff. I don't know what's going to be actually up here, what function this will serve, but I really like the idea of, in this pretty well-to-do with house, a very rustic upstairs loft, and we get a beautiful view of our tower here. Slightly off-center, which is bothering me, but that's okay. Imperfection is perfection. And behind here, amethyst, because I decided to put amethyst just in like a little accent sliver, and it's almost completely covered up now, but just this little tiny bit of amethyst in there for the fantasy element. Was that wood stripped? Oh no, how did that happen? Be careful with these axes, they'll get you. They will get you. Thankfully, we've always got our dark oak on us, and fixed. Okay, good. Crisis averted. Now, I do think that this loft is probably a little too tall. I think that I might need to get some sort of, like, attic space in here as well, and maybe put some lattice up in here. So I need campfires for that. And I actually made a ton of campfires for the Hall of Heroes, and I, just from ruination, ended up not using all of them. We're also going to put a little tiny deck there, so I can step outside and smell the flowers. Also, a benefit of having two wide walls is I can have glass on one side and then that lattice on the other, and it kind of gives it a little bit more depth, a little more dimension, a little more interest. Oh yeah, here we go. Now, I'll probably need all of these, and campfires are actually kind of a pain because they don't stack, but thanks to the magic of my ender chest, which should be right there, we can store a whole ton of stuff now. The inventory upgrades from after our end event are huge. It just makes building so much more efficient when I don't have to worry about pillaring up everywhere because I've got my elytra, and I don't have to worry about doing 30 trips back and forth. I'm going to leave one campfire here just so it's not completely empty. It's just such a better... it's so much better for building when you have those quality of life improvements. I don't mind the early game for a little while when, you know, you're toughing it out, but when you want to build big projects, you really do need, at the very minimum, shulker boxes. Otherwise, you are completely screwed. They're also really great for doing what we're doing with storage. Now, I only allotted half a chest, or I guess one single chest, to diorite. And if you know anything about this update, it's nicknamed the diorite update because they had problems with world generation, and everything is diorite now. There's no granite, there's no gravel, it's only diorite. In fact, just to prove my point, I'm going to fly into our future mine here, and let me show you. Oh, what do we got here? Diorite, 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 diorite. It's too much, and I like diorite, and it's too much. Imagine being one of the many players that hates diorite. Come on. There we go. Yeah, it's too much. But, thankfully, if we get too much diorite... trying to fly with leg is just a nightmare. Thankfully, with shulker boxes, if we get too much diorite, we can just pack it into a shulker box and then put that shulker box into our storage unit. So that saves us from needing a massive storage system. Shulker boxes really are the goat for that. And we have a shulker farm available to us. I mean, kind of. I haven't actually been there yet. I've stolen all of these boxes from the council. They leave them everywhere, so I just help myself. They won't miss them. But yeah, we, in this world, in order to discourage end raiding and just to make it more bountiful, Silent has set up a shulker spawner for us, so we don't have to worry about the shells being a supply issue. It's still kind of slow, and you gotta harvest them yourself manually, but it is miles and miles better than the alternative. So if you missed what I did in the Hall of Heroes with the campfires, they have a very interesting I guess, utility component to them as well, or not utility. They have a very interesting decorative component to them, where the underside is actually quite nice, and it makes for like this very cool like wooden planks type design, and the top of them is actually very cool too. The problem is that they are on fire. So it definitely is kind of hard to place them. So I'm going to place these guys in kind of a cross pattern if I can. So I'll need to go like that. Yeah, so it'll just kind of zigzag crisscross applesauce. And that should look pretty good. That's what I did in the Hall of Heroes, and I was very happy with the design. You could have them going in the singular direction, but I'm not as big of a fan of that. So let's get these installed and see how we like it. And a little trick you can use if you want to extinguish the fires, use your shovel, and you don't even need to be on top of them. You can reach them from the bottom. Oh yeah, that's much better. It was just way too much open space before, so that definitely helps it. It probably could look like it's being held up a little bit more, but it's okay for now. I'll probably have to install some more things like that. Okay, that wasn't that impressive, but you get the idea. It just needs to make a little more sense structurally. So if we do something like that around the corners, that might help just a little bit. Oh, even that doesn't. Oh, even that kind of helps it out a little bit. And of course, we don't want to look like a noob using torches everywhere, because lanterns are the way to go. So we'll just sprinkle a couple of these in here and there. Perfect. That should probably mob-proof this place. I would imagine that would be enough. If not, not a big deal. We can always add a few more later on. One right there and right there as well. Perfect. Now let's take a look at our kitchen. And I'll be the first to admit that my staircases aren't in great spots, but that's just the way that they ended up, so don't at me. Our kitchen turned out pretty cute, though. Like I said, it's going to be a much smaller space. This is much more, utilitarian. But there's a pretty neat trick where if you hang up a banner above one block, it kind of looks like a towel hanging up, which is neat. So I'll throw some water in here at some point. And this is just, I'll probably store food in here. Not that I think I'll have a ton of that. I usually go with golden carrots, but it's good to have some food storage regardless. And then in here, we have hooked up our tower. It got a little janky here, but it works. It works. And now we can follow this all the way up to our lookout spot up here. This will be just mostly aesthetic. It's just kind of cool having a tower. It's not going to really serve any purpose functionally, but, I mean, you gotta have a tower, right? Let's pop a lantern down right in the center of that, just to make sure no mobs spawn up here. Some very rude zombies broke down some of my doors downstairs. Wasn't super happy about that. But now all that is left to do is detail everything. And, I mean, this is a big space. I think that this probably will be a living room space. Oh, I forgot I gotta build a balcony out here too. Okay, balcony will come later. Today was decorating day. That feels more structural. So the kitchen itself will probably get a few things, but it'll stay mostly barren. This room here, I guess I don't really have enough space for a table to go here. So we'll fill this up with other things, some greenery and whatnot. I'm going to put some curtains above the windows. And then I decided that my cool loft is going to be my bedroom. I'll make this space right here my bedroom. And then over here, this will just be a lookout area for us to enjoy nature and the town that we were going to build. This is the perfect view of our town. So this is turning out amazing. And up here, still nothing. But that's okay. We'll fill that up later with just junk. I also really like having the exposed copper up here in the loft. I think that probably something needs to go there. But yeah, I think that having a little bit more rustic of a look up here is going to do us good in the long run. And I'll probably hang... Ooh, yes. I'm going to hang some curtains up here as well that we can just walk through if we feel the need. Cool. So, now all that's left to do is all the decorations, and boy, this stuff, just like we did down here in the cellar, kind of... kind of all the little details and things like that, they does kind of take a while. So I'm going to do my best to crank as much of that out today as I can. It has taken quite a while to do the interior. Interiors are kind of a pain that way. Guess what? It's done. Not cleaning up outside. That I just don't have the energy for right now. But the inside is done, and I am loving it. So let's go through. I'll show you what I've done. First, we've added our balcony over there. Put the trapdoors instead of fences so that I can jump over top of them to fly away, and I just think it looks better. Did a little bit of detailing on the outside of the building here with the buttons and whatnot. Added some lattice up there, just the little details. I do need to add some fences in here because zombies keep breaking my door down, and I'm not a big fan of that. But if we go in our entryway here, we are greeted with the boot room, the entrance to the home, and I've used some armor stand technology to hang up tools here. And I'm just really in love with how bright it is. I also decided to put these crystals in throughout the house. I thought it gave it a very like whimsical, fantastical feel to it. So really loving that, especially with the terracotta walls. I think they match really nicely. Just quickly in here, we already saw this, but this is the completed cellar. Roots on the roof and everything like that. That's where we'll store the dirt and stone. In here, not really sure if we'll actually store anything in here. And I'll show you just the base of the tower here. So this goes all the way up, and we'll take a look at that again on the second floor. I just have to be careful around these because if I left click, it'll like give me this item, and it's kind of a pain to get it back in there. So yeah, it's got to watch out for that. As we go up the stairs, we have this little number, and these should be closed. Yeah, just a few more crystals in there, white terracotta in the ceilings with that border around, I think looks really good. Nothing too crazy special in here either. This room is actually just mostly decoration, plus whatever storage we decide to put in here. There's some bookshelves there, so maybe books and whatnot. Not 100% sure there. Our kitchen turned out great. It's very cute, very bright. The white concrete walls are definitely a little overpowering, but I don't mind it at all. If anything, it kind of needs a window, but, you know, what are you going to do? There is a wall past there that I could have maybe extended this out to, but this seemed to be right. The calcite and the smooth basalt for the floors work really good for a tile. These two added in the same update. It's almost like they were meant to be this. And then our tower connects to this floor as well. And we'll just head on up here so you can see the top of this, and we can enjoy our view. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Actually, really gonna think that when everything is built here, this view is gonna be worth a lot. We can also see into our house from up here. Now, let's go down and check out that rest of the house. Making our way upstairs from here, and there is a window here, but we got the curtains closed there. We don't need to see through all the windows. Making our way up here to the loft, we've just added some greenery to brighten it up, our crystals, some candles lying around. It's surprising the amount of things that candles can't go onto. I tried an upside down stair like that, and they wouldn't even go on top of that. It's a super bummer. They're not ideal for that quite just yet. And I might add this actually there. I think that's better. And this is our little bedroom. It's pretty quaint, nothing too fancy here. But the main thing with this level here is utility. I can fly in and out, and if I don't whiff it on the exit, it's super convenient for me to fly back in here and plop into my bed. And if I do that and with the landing again, I can just open up the gates. So yeah, here, and I can fly in and out here as well by our little planters here. So it turned out really, really good. Now I have got a lot of other things to do. I probably won't do much up there unless I need extra storage. But yeah, basically I'm going to focus on cleaning up this area now. I don't really want there to be a chest monster, but I do need to get a area for wood. I know that I need to have a little shack where like a tree is fallen down where I can store barrels of different types of wood. That'll be next. However, I am decorated out for the day. It has been a long day of working on this. 100% worth it, though. And the only thing left to do is signify whose place this is. And I'm not sure if I've shown this or not yet, but we all made banners, everyone in the council. And I think a lot of players do that on a server as well. Just to, have your own house banner. It's a lot of fun. And so we'll hang those there, and that way everybody knows that this is House Fiasco. And I don't know if we're going to name the manor or not. And I've decided this is a manor, not a mansion. So let me know the names for this place that you have in the comments. I was kind of thinking Grimhawk Manor. I thought that was kind of a cool name. And it is a reference to Dungeons and Dragons stuff, which just love that. So let me know your names and your name suggestions in the comments, and I will go through and maybe see if I can find one that suits the place. But overall, very happy with this, and I've called it my starter house before, but that is actually not really true. I think that this will be my permanent house for the remainder of this series. I don't see why we would abandon it, especially when we put so much work into it. We're not going to build a bigger house, but we are going to build other things like a mine. We're going to build a mill by the water there. We'll probably put a ship in there as well, maybe just a little fishing vessel because it is just a pretty small lake. We're going to put a library. We're going to put a big portal for this thing, probably right in the center here. We'll build a nice portal, and I've got big plans for how I want this place to look. I do want it to be super fantasy-ish, so I've got a lot of work to do there, and maybe eventually we will build a castle as kind of our main home, I suppose, but I have no real plans for that just yet. But if we're building on this scale, then this big fields that I once thought was enough room might actually not be enough room. And I'm so excited to just keep working on it. Really loving this. Super glad that we moved the base. This suits me so much better. So that's where we're going to end the episode because it's been a doozy. I hope you liked seeing more of the creative process. I really didn't want to breeze over too much in this video. I know that I usually do that with building, but yeah, this one's a little bit different, so I hope that you enjoyed it. And let me know what you want to see more of in my videos. Do you want to see the specific decorations? I know I didn't really show a lot of that. The pictures on the walls, the crystals and stuff. And that's just because it's not really that interesting. I just kind of place stuff around randomly until I like it. So let me know what you want to see more of in the future. Until then, my name is Fiasco. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.